Hello guys, welcome to our channel Banking Sutra, and in today's lecture we'll be covering Financial Derivatives Series 1, and in this series we'll be discussing forward and futures with detailed explanations and real-time examples. Actually, in my previous video of financial derivatives, I gone through different topics like forward, futures, options, and different types of option. But the main objective of uploading that video was different because this was just to give you an overview of these types of terms because these types of terms generally confuse us in different types of examination. So, after gone through all of your comments and your suggestions and your demands that you want more detailed overview of options and forward and future, I decided to upload series by series these financial derivative lectures. So, in this lecture, we will be covering futures and forward in more detail, and in the next part, we'll be covering option part in which I will cover basic concept of options and different types of option with detailed examples and real time examples and with proper explanation. So let's start today's lecture. And in first of all, in today's lecture, we'll be giving you content overview what I'm covering in this lecture. Uh, First, I will give you a forward contract definition, its features, and classification of forward contract. Next, then I will give you mechanism, terminologies, benefits, and limitations. Next, we will move towards future contract, and there I will give you definition, features, and nature of future contract and categorization. And in the end, I will present to you a basic comparison between forward and futures and what are the distinguished features between forward and futures. So let's start with definition of forward contract. So basically, the basic definition of our contract is it is a simple contract, or you can say it is a simple customized contract between two parties to buy or sell an asset at a certain time in the future for a certain price. And this part, which you see at a certain time in the future for a certain price, basically it is a fixed price. Okay. So this is very important part in this definition, and which I will explain you in just next. The second important point in forward contracts are these are over the counter market contracts. Means it happens between two parties over the counters, but it will never happen in stock exchanges or between and no broker involved in between two parties. So these are the contracts between direct two individual parties. And here I have given the representation of two persons, but in forward contracts, generally these contracts happen between two financial institutions or financial institution and a client, one of its clients. Uh, yes, two financial institutions and one of its clients. Okay. So now I will. What you have seen is a very limited definition of forward, which is generally available in every book, in every website you can find. But in this lecture, I'll try to break down this definition and highlight some of the key features, key parts in forward contract. So the basic element in forward contract is it is a contract which made today for delivery of an asset at a pre-specified time in future at a price agreed upon today. This is, I think, a lot clearer than the previous one because previous one is quite limited in its wordings. As you can see, the this forward contract is made today. Means today we are making a contract for delivery of an asset at a pre-specified time. Means the time may be for next 30 days or 90 days whatever the time in future, and price should be agreed upon today. These are the two main parts. Price of the agreement of the contract will be decided today at a pre-specified time in the future. Means price will be decided today and delivery of the asset will happen at a pre-specified time in the future. Next part, the buyer of the forward contract agrees to take delivery of an underlying asset at a future time t at a price agreed upon today. Again, I'm breaking it down. The buyer of a forward contract, there must be a buyer or there must be a seller. Two parties are there. And here, the buyer of forward contract agrees to take delivery of an underlying asset at a future time. Means delivery of the asset happens after a time t. This time may be 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever the time they agreed upon. And the price will be decided today. So until now, no money exchange happened until time t. Means up to 30 days or 90 days, whatever the time they have decided, no money exchange will happen in between in until time t. Now, the seller agrees to deliver the underlying asset at a future time t at a price agreed upon today. Means there's a contract between buyer and seller, so seller also have to agree to deliver the underlying asset as a future time. And again, no money change no money change happen until time t. So simply a forward contract is a simply amounts to setting a price today for a trade that will occur in the future. Okay, so we will now discuss this whole phenomena, whole concept in a short example so that it will be a lot clearer to you. Uh, for example, there is an Indian based company uh, which used to build automobile, and they want some automobile material from a US based company which manufactures automobile parts, and it costs around $1 million. Okay, so and this $1 million they have to pay in 90 days. The importer is now short of dollars. So now suppose present price of dollar. Okay, the present price of dollar is for example rupees 48. Just suppose over the next 90 days, however, dollar price may rise. Okay, from rupees 48. So the importer can hedge this exchange risk by negotiating a 90 days forward contract with a bank at rupees 50. Okay. So now what will happen according to forward contract in 90 days, the bank will give importer $1 million. Okay. And importer will give the bank 50 million rupees hedging a future payment with forward contract. Okay, on due date importer, that means on due date importer will make a payment of rupees 50 million rupees to bank, and the bank will pay $1 million to importer, whatever the rate of dollar in after whatever the rate of dollar after 90 days. It may happens that dollar rate increases to 60, 70 in 3 months, or it may happen it will rise to 55, 60, whatever the price. Here what happens, they have settled a predefined price for a marginal 2 rupees increase. Okay, so this is a typical example of forward contract on foreign exchange currency. Now we will discuss some of the features involved. What are the features of forward contract? First is forward contracts, as they are bilateral contracts, so they are exposed to counterparty risk. So, and what is counterparty risk now? We will discuss by some short example. For example, there is a trade take place between party A and party B for X kgs of commodity. Okay, and commodity may be anything: sugar, rice, wheat, anything. The pre-specified delivery price is rupees 100 per kg. Okay, and the maturity is 1 month. Means they have agreed upon a price of rupees 100 per kg, and the maturity after means they will deliver the asset or commodity after 1 month at a price fixed at rupees 100 per kg. Okay, after 1 month, what happened? The commodity is trading at rupees 120 per kg. So in this case, if A was the buyer, he would gain rupees 20, that is definite, and B suffer a loss of rupees 20 because Mr. B sells the commodity at rupees 100, which is now rupees 120. So B suffers a loss of rupees 20. In case B defaults and he refuses to sell at rupees 100 per kg as promised due to the price rise, party A is exposed to counterparty risk. This is called as counterparty risk. That is the risk of foregoing the deserving gain of rupees 20 per kg. Uh, when the price rise happens from 100 to 120, the party B, which is the seller, uh, refuses to sell the commodity at rupees 100, which is already agreed in the forward contract. And as these contracts are over the counter or not on any exchange traded contracts, so these types of things may happen. So this is a strong chance of counterparty risks in forward contracts. Now, some of the features are each contract is custom designed and hence is unique in terms of contract size, expiration date, asset type, quality, etc. Means as these are customized contracts, not predefined contracts, so these are unique in terms of size of the contracts. Its dates are mutually adjustable, asset type, and the quality. And in forward contract, one of the parties takes a long position by agreeing to buy the asset at a certain specified future date. The other party assumes a short position by agreeing to sell the same asset at the same date for the same specified price. Now the question comes, what is long position and what is short position? Basically, long position is the position in which a buyer buys the share with the expectation that the price will rise in the future. Okay, and so he will buy today. And in case of short position, the trader, the party, sells the same asset, and he will expect that the he will repurchase it later at a lower price in future. So this is the long position and this is the short position terms. And next comes in the forward market, the contract has to be settled by the delivery of asset on expiration date. In case the party wishes to reverse the contract, okay, it has to compulsorily go to the same counterparty which may dominate and command the price it wants as being in a monopoly situation. So there is a strong chance of monopoly situation may arise in such type of contracts because in case the other party wants to reverse the contract, then the party has to compulsorily go to the other party with whom they contracted it, and in that situation, that party may dominate the situation and may increase the price of the contract or uh, which will create a monopoly situation. So now comes the classification part. What are the types of forward contracts? Forward contracts, basically in India, if we talk, these are broadly governed by Forward Contracts Regulation Act 1952. And according to this act, there are basically three major categories. First is hedge contracts. These are freely transferable contracts which do not require any specification of particular lot sizes, quality, or delivery standard for the underlying assets. Means there is no prior specification of size of the contract, how much size of commodity they will contract, no quality uh, talks beforehand, and no delivery standard prefixed of for the underlying asset. And most of these are necessary to be settled through delivery of underlying assets. This is the most important part. Every forward contract is to be settled through the delivery of underlying asset at a future time at a pre-specified price. Now comes the transferable is specific delivery forward contracts. These are basically apart from freely transferable between parties concerned, these forward contracts refer to specific and predetermined lot sizes and variety of underlying assets. Means here the lot sizes means the size of the contract will be predetermined. Variety of underlying assets are also predetermined, and these are quite specific in terms of these two things. And it is compulsory for the delivery of underlying asset to take place at expiration of contract. Uh, uh, this is very again it is a very important point because after completion of expiration contract, it is compulsory that the underlying asset should be delivered. This is an important condition in this one also. And non-transferable specific delivery forward contracts are basically normally exempted from regulation under Forward Contract Act, but central government reserves the right to bring them back under the act whenever it feels necessary. So these are the contracts basically which cannot be transferred to any other party. Now comes the mechanism part. What is the basic underlying mechanism of forward contracts? So forward contract basically, as I told you, it is a hedging mechanism. Hedging is basically when we reduce the risk, when we reduce the market risk by in terms of any contracts or something. So it is a hedging mechanism similar to any insurance policy, as it protects trader from unfavorable exchange rate movements. As you have seen in the previous examples, uh, um, whatever will be the exchange rate price, whatever will be the fluctuation of the price, both the specifically the party which purchases and the party which buys both have the chance of getting benefit, and it is a mutual contract, so this type of situation will be avoided, and it generally acts like an insurance policy. So now we will discuss the example in view of this. The mechanism forward contract. Suppose Mr. X is a wholesale sugar dealer and Mr. Y is the prospective buyer. And the current price as on 1st April 2020 of sugar per kg is rupees 23. Means currently the price is rupees 23 per kg, which is the current price. And Mr. Y agrees to buy 50 kgs of sugar at rupees 25 per kg after 3 months. That is on 1st of July 2020. Okay. So basically what happens, uh, how this price will be decided. Okay, this is the question which is creeping in our mind, because what happens due to the prevailing conditions of that commodity, due to the prevailing historical price analysis of this particular commodity, this type of pricing will be decided, because if you decide impractical prices, then the contract will not happen, because the buyer will not buy it, or the purchaser also not purchase it. So the fixing of price is very important, and this is generally happens on the basis of historical price analysis. So means the price will be decided in the way that it will be win-win situation for both. Means for both the cases, buyer and the purchaser, there will be a not major loss to any particular party. Okay, so that's why this types of pricing will be decided, but as it is totally controlled by market price risk, so it may happens that there may be a huge slide in the prices or huge bump in the price of the commodity. So so what I'm telling is the current price of sugar is around rupees 23, and Mr. Y agrees to buy 50 kgs of sugar at rupees 25 per kg after 3 months. Now, if on 1st July 2020 the market price of sugar is rupees 30 per kg, then Mr. Y, who is the purchaser, buyer, is the gainer by rupees 5 per kg. And if the price of sugar is rupees 20 per kg, then Mr. X is the gainer by rupees 5 per kg, who is the uh, basically purchaser. Sorry, he is the seller. Mr. X is the seller. So because the current price is 23, okay, and the price is fixed at 25, and after 3 months, what happens? The price slides to rupees 20. So Mr. X purchase it at rupees 25, uh, sell it at rupees 25. So he will surely get the rupees 5 per kg benefit or profit. So this is the condition because this type of situation happen in any direction. Okay, uh, purchaser may gain rupees 5 or buyer also get the increase of rupees 5. So one party's gain is another party's loss by the same amount, as you have seen. So next we will discuss some of the important terminologies in forward contracts. First, the underlying assets. So we keep on discussing about underlying asset, but what is this asset? It is basically the asset on which forward contract is made. And there are different types of underlying assets like equity shares, stock indices, commodity, any type of commodity, currency, interest rate, etc. And the most popular forward contracts are based on currency and interest rates. These are the most popular contracts. Now, for example, in the previous example, a sugar, which is a commodity, is the underlying asset. Next comes the spot price. This is the basically quoted price of underlying asset for buying and selling at the spot time or immediate delivery. Means whatever the current price of the commodity or underlying asset, that current price is known as a spot price. In the previous example, the spot price of sugar was rupees 23 per kg, which was the current price. Future spot price is the spot price of underlying asset on the date the forward contract expires. Means it is the future price which is pre-decided. It depends on the market condition prevailing at the expiration date. And the previous example, the spot price of sugar, which is underlying asset, is rupees 30 per kg in one case and rupees 20 per kg another case. And as I have told you, market condition prevailing at the expiration date means based on the condition of the market and future, this price will fluctuate. And this is known as future spot price. Next comes the delivery price. This is the pre-specified price of the underlying asset at which the contract is settled on expiration. And in previous example, what will be the delivery price? It is basically rupees 25, which was settled. Okay, it is the delivery price. Now comes the benefits and some of the limitations. So first benefit is forward contracts can be used to hedge or lock in price of purchase or sale of commodity or financial asset on the future commitment date. It will really hedge the market risk. Okay. Next is on forward contracts, generally margins are not paid. This is important. On forward contracts, margins are not paid, and there is also no upfront premium. You have to not pay, you don't have to pay any premium for that. So it does not involve any initial cost. So that's why these are very popular among the parties between the parties, because they don't have to approach first of all to any stock exchanges or any broker. They have to do mutual trading, mutual contract, and there is no initial cost involved. Next is these forwards are basically tailor made. These are, as I told you, customized. So price risk exposure can be hedged up to 100%, which may not be possible in other types of derivatives, which are futures or options. So, and now comes the limitation parts. Uh, Limitations are, first is lack of centralization of trading. As I told you, these are OTC, and this is the major problem in all the OTC derivatives, that due to lack of centralization of trading, there is a chances of different types of risk involved. First, since these are OTCs and not centralized, so they are not cash ready or liquid ready derivatives. Third one, counterparty risk is involved. As I already told you, counterparty risk is involved in such type of contracts. So this is all about forward contracts. So now we will move towards future contract. So we will now see the definition of futures contract. So future contract is a standardized agreement between the seller of the contract and the buyer, and it is traded on future exchange to buy or sell a certain underlying instrument at a certain date in future and at a preset price. And it is in comparison to forward contracts, these are also traded between two individual entities, and this contract is generally happened within the presence of stock exchanges or broker. Means intermediary is involved between two individual parties for doing this contract. So it is an exchange traded derivative. The future date is called the delivery date here, and it is also known as final settlement date. And the preset price is called the futures price. The price of the underlying assets on the delivery date is called the settlement price. So now we will see some more clear explanation of futures contract. So a future is a standard contract in which the seller is obligated, just notice this, some of the words. Seller is obligated to deliver a specified asset to the buyer on a specified date in future. The most important point in this definition is that here it is obligated term is there. Obligated means he has to sell. There is no other option. And why it is so? Because it is exchange traded derivative. Okay. So, and next part is that, and the buyer is also obligated to pay the seller the then prevailing future price upon delivery. So as you can see, both seller and buyer are obligated for doing the transaction, and there is no chance of counterparty risk due to the presence of stock exchange between them. Future contracts are generally standardized contracts, and they are traded on organized future markets. And because contract sizes and maturities are standardized, all the participants in the market are familiar with the type of contracts available, and trading is facilitated. Now, the organization of futures trading with a clearinghouse reduces the default risk of trading, and the exchange members in effect guarantee both sides of the contract. So that's why these are pretty safe than forward contracts. Now I will give you a example, and it is a real-time example. Event happened in 2007. As you know that generally you heard in newspapers, in the news, financial news, that prices of oil generally goes up and down very frequently, and the most actively traded commodity future contract are for oil, because oil is a commodity, and this type of future contract is a commodity future contract. So I'm giving you an example of commodity future contract. So since oil or gas, as you know, are very huge expense for many companies, So often they don't want to deal with unpredictability of oil prices. So they will buy future contracts. This is the just why oil companies used to buy future contract and why it is very popular. So in 2007, what happened when oil prices went from less than $60 per barrel to $140 per barrel? That increase, of course, dramatically increased the cost of gasoline globally. And the most affected and most hurting industry due to this price rise was airline industry. Okay, but that time profits of almost all airline companies dropped dramatically. But one company named Southwest had begun a practice of future contracts a decade earlier, means more than 10 years ago in 2007. This Southwest company used to trade in future trading. So that time, what happened? As I told you, oil was selling that time $60 a barrel that time, but Southwest uh, airline company was buying oil future for the same month for about $65 per barrel. Then a year later, when oil prices were in 2008, means when the oil prices increased from 60 to 140 barrel, Southwest was making money on their $65 oil future contract, and they easily hedged the risk of price rise, future exchange risk. So in this way, Southwest Airline Company reduces the effect of oil price rise by hedging it using futures contract. So this is the real-time example that was happened in 2007, and after that, most of the airline companies specifically used to trade in future market to hedge the future exchange risk. So now we will discuss some of the core features of futures contract. These contracts trade on as organized future exchanges with the clearing associations that act as a middleman between the contracting parties. Contract seller is called short and purchaser called long, as I told you earlier, who are a long purchase, what are long position, what are short positions. Both parties pay margin to the clearing association. This is important because in forward there is no concept of margin, or there is no concept of initial cost involved in forward contracts, but in future contracts, as you can see, both the parties have to pay margin to the clearing association for doing the transaction through exchange traded exchange markets. This is used as a performance bond by contracting parties. Margin pairs are generally marked to market price every day. Each future contract has an associated month that represents the month of contract delivery or final settlement. Every future contract represents a specific quantity. It is not negotiated by the parties to the contract. One can buy or sell a number of future contracts to match one's required quantity. Because of this feature, 100% hedging is not possible. But in forward contract, 100% hedging was almost possible. And due to this effect, there may be over or under hedging to some extent. Basically, future contracts traded in three primary areas. First is agriculture commodities, metals and petroleum, and financial assets, which can be stocks, indices, interest rates, or currency. Now, future contract categorization. Now, we will discuss some of the important categories of future contracts, and these are two major categories. First is financial future contracts. These financial future contracts are generally futures on debt instruments, and these are called interest rate futures, foreign exchange rate called currency futures, and stock market exchanges called stock index futures. Interest rate future contracts. Interest rate future contracts are generally in this type. The future securities traded are interest bearing instruments like treasury bills, bonds, debentures, euro dollar deposits, and municipal bonds. And the notional gilt contracts, short term deposit futures, and treasury note futures. It is used to generally hedge against adverse changes in interest rates. After that, I will give you a detailed example of interest rate future and how it is beneficial to normal people who are dealing with, who have taken any loan, how they can use interest rate future to hedge the risk. And in India, it is traded in both NSE and BSE. Okay. There is, however, a minimum size of rupees 2 lakh or 2000 bonds in order to trade in interest rate future markets. As I told you, future market, there is a specified contract size. Means you cannot make any contract of unspecified size. You have to contract in a, you have to trade in a specific fixed price, just as rupees 2 lakh or 2000 bonds, whichever is smaller. Now we'll come towards interest rate future example, so that it will be clearer to all of you that how you can use interest rate future if in future you will take any housing loan, for example. So let us assume you have a housing loan and you expect that RBI policy is likely to raise the repo rate and reverse repo rate, which usually happens in the coming 6 months, thereby signaling an increase in your loan rates by the bank. So in order to offset the impact of rising EMI burden when rates rise, you can sell an interest rate futures contract. What happens if the rates actually go up over the next 6 months? The price of these future contracts will fall. Means interest rates and these future contracts and these future contracts, future rates, future contracts are inversely proportional. Okay, means if interest rate will rise, for future contracts price will down, and if interest rate goes down, then they will increase. Okay, so you can again I will explain you what happen if the rates actually go up over the next 6 months. The price of these future contracts will fall, and you can then buy them back again for future reselling. Okay, so in this way, this will ensure that higher outgo in the form of higher EMIs gets compensated to some extent by the difference in the futures price, thereby helping you hedge yourself. So thus what happens, interest rate futures help you offset potential losses from variation in interest rates environment driven by various policy changes by government or by Reserve Bank of India. Currency future contract under financial future contract. Currency futures, also called forex futures or foreign exchange futures, are exchange traded future contracts to buy or sell a specified amount of particular currency at a set price and date in the future. And these are generally happened, and the most popular currency future contracts are euro dollar, means euro against dollar. Currency futures were introduced at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, which are now known as CME Group, in 1972. Soon after, fixing the exchange rate system and gold standard were discarded. Now, I'm giving you an example. Say you purchase 8 future euro contracts, and 8 future euro contracts means 125,000 euro per contract at 0.89 US dollar per euro. So at the end of the day, the settlement price has moved to 0.91 US dollar per euro. So how much you have lost or profited? So what happened? The price has increased, meaning you have profited. That's for sure. How much profit? So what you have to do is you have to reduce the increased price from the current price and multiply with 125,000 euros. And how many contracts you have purchased? 8. So total 20,000 US dollar of profit you have achieved. So next one is commodity future contracts. Commodity future contracts generally include different types of contract. First one is agriculture future contract. These contracts are traded in grains, oil and meal and all the food stuffs generally. And several different contracts and month for delivery are available for different grades or types of commodity in question. And majorly the contract months here depends on the seasonality and trading activity, because these are all the food items and so food items depends on seasonality condition. So that's why its contract is fixed based on the seasonality condition. Now comes second subcategory under commodity future market is metallurgical future contract. It includes two major genuine metal and petroleum contracts, uh, and under genuine metals generally gold, silver, platinum and copper comes, and in petroleum products only heating oil, crude oil and gasoline oil are traded. Now we will at last see the basic comparison between forward and future. So first one is based on the nature of market. As I told you, forwards are over the counter exchange, and these are done through exchange traded. Size of contract is customized in forward, and in futures it is standardized in each future market. Price of contract remain fixed till maturity, but here changes every day because you have to settle the price at the end of the day. This is very important difference between future and forward. Mark to market is not done in forward, but mark to market every day. Okay. Margin, here in forward there is no margin required, but in future margin to be paid by both buyer and seller. Counterparty risk is involved in forward, okay, but in future there is no counterparty risk. This is the very big plus point. Liquidity, there is no liquidity in forward, but future markets are highly liquid. And now comes the frequency of delivery part. So 90% of all forward contracts are settled by actual delivery of the item, whereas in future contract very few future contracts are settled by actual delivery. So as you can see, forward and future contract, in forward contracts there is no initial margin or initial cost is involved for doing the transaction, for trading activity, but in future there is some initial cost is involved plus some margin is also involved, but you are totally risk free, and you are totally secured in terms of counterparty risk and all that. So which is very important if you are investing something. So as you can see, future markets are in comparison to forward market are quite secure, but some cost is involved for doing the future contract. So uh, this is the end of today's lecture. I hope I will make you I make you understand the concept of forward and future in broader detail, and in with some detailed explanations and examples. So in the next part we will discuss options, different types of options with different examples, each of the options type, so that it will be clearer to you. So thanks for guys for watching our video.